all of a sudden you find yourself with nothing to do. You know, that's sort of the immediate thing that happens when the pandemic hits, but the second thing is like what happens next. So I'm really lucky that I have projects going forward for the next couple of years, but like out of 3 of them, my 3 biggest ones, 2 of the ADs have been sacked or have gone. And then of course, like generally, what's the future of theatre going to be as an entirety? I think this is a really good opportunity to think about why we do things, what we do things for, and what is the nature we do things in that is useful. Now, moving forward, I think that, like, sadly, for people in my position who do what I do, who define themselves solely as a writer, they're going to have, I think, slightly a harder time of it. And I think we're going to see a power shift away from, like, the authorship, director or writer, and towards something that I hope will be slightly more rooted in the community. Unity has got to be about, like, serving something bigger than us and serving a community rather than the self. But I think this is the closest I've come to a building that listens to artists and allows artists to start conversations with communities in the hope of change. And that's what I've always seen this space as. It's never been about high, convoluted, money-spinning genius. It's about pertinent conversations and hoping those conversations are told in a way that can start illicit conversation. Liverpool, I think, has a very different sense of identity for example, London, where I've been for the last decade or so. I think there's always been a sense of like building something bigger than you here. So I think arts development is about giving people the tools in order to start the conversations they think need to be having the way that is most them, that can also serve a community. It's about enabling people with the questions to interrogate their own work, to do the thing that they think needs to be done in the way that is most true to them and most pertinent in the place they're doing it. So to empower people to be themselves is the process of it, I think. I think coming out of this, I'd be really happy if we came out of this and we found a reimagining of what buildings do, away from words like quality or genius or excellence, and towards like, how do we have conversations that come from communities, made for communities in order for communities to progress. What we need to do is we need to like lean into what Liverpool has and challenge and stimulate those things and force them to look outwards in order to have conversations within ourselves. If we can empower artists already in the city to do that, it not only leads to like artistic excellence, it leads to like relevant conversation.